Hello everybody. So I'm heading out stalking shortly and a few people have said, can I try and do like a whole video, like start to finish, what I'm taking, what I'm doing, the whole shebang. So I'm going to try and do that today, but you can guarantee I won't see any deer now, but let's just hope. So I thought I'd just run through quickly my basics, what I'm going to be taking with me. So number one, obviously, my rifle. So this is a proof research rifle in 6.5 Creedmoor. Then I have got a Maven scope on top with a Triggercam and the Spartan bipod, which I've said before is amazing because you can just detach it. So when it's that way, it's fixed. When you spin it this way, it's got some movement in it, so you can have it either way. Sling, so I use I can't remember, a Z-aim sling this is. The reason I use that, before anyone hates, bolts open, nothing in there, empty. So I love these slings because I just find them really comfortable to wear. So when you pop the rifle on, you've got like a normal strap like you would normally have, and then this piece comes around and you basically just clip it in front like that, tighten it up, shabang, shaboom, bish, bash, bosh. And I just find it a lot more secure because I find sometimes when you've got just a sling and you're walking, the rifle ends up slipping backwards, which I just think I don't like and it's really unsafe. So this sling is amazing. Absolutely love it. What else am I taking? Moderator. So this is an RCC moderator. I've got my binos. So this bino harness is a Ridgeline bino harness. Again, love it much more than just having a strap because then your binos are bouncing around and getting annoying. So this just keeps them in place. Binos, I have got the Maven B2 binoculars, which are fab. Controversial opinion on this one, but I'm taking my spotter. Some people say it's not deer stalking, it's cheating, each to their own, but I'm going out to cold does, really need to get some numbers down. So having a spotter is going to mean I can spot things more easily, things that I wouldn't necessarily see with the binos. So yeah, so this is the Notpix Lumi spotter. So I will be taking that. I have got my knife for grollicking. So hopefully you've already seen this, but this is my custom knife that I had made from Barber's Blades. Absolutely insane knife. Love it. So that will be coming because we're definitely going to shoot deer today. Definitely. So I also take this row sack because it makes life a lot easier than dragging deer, and dragging deer is not ideal, especially when the ground's dirty, muddy, whatever. You don't really want to be dragging them through all that. So we just grollick it and then pop it in here. So this bag, I actually bought, I think it might have been the first year the stalking show was on. This is from a company called Ogden Shooting Supplies, I think it is. So it folds open like that. And the lining is, let me get this right. I've got to get this right. What is the lining? It's what the, oh God, come on, Sarah. I want to say it's from like boats, lifeboats. Does that make sense? Or am I completely just making that up? It's like that rubbery, thick, durable, like not a rubber dinghy boat, but like a, are you with me on this one? Anyway. So that's the lining, which again is really good because it can, like, you can just hose it out, and then I just hose the middle out and hang it upside down, and it just dries out really nicely. So it actually opens up. I don't know if you can see, but pretty big. You have got these strings, so this attaches the line into the bag. So if you want to, you can completely undo that, take it out and wash it more thoroughly. Loads of pockets on it as well. So I take gloves for grollicking. We've also got head torch because sometimes by the time you've finished and packed up, it gets a bit dark. We've got first aid kit, all sorts of bits. Another first aid kit, just never know. And then the knives and everything go into this bag, and anything else I want to take with me. So it's quite handy really, because you can use it obviously as your row sack, but you can also use it to carry all your bits and bobs, rubbish, snacks, Haribo, you know, all the essentials. And it's also, so it's got 2 points that it clips on. So because when it's really heavy, you want a lot of support. So it clips across the chest like this, but then it also, you've got like a waist strap which clips in, and then that way it's not just putting the weight on your shoulders, it's putting it on your hips as well. So it's a lot easier to carry rather than it just pulling on your shoulders. So what else do I take? I've got a tub, but I'm not going to run out and get that. I've got a massive big plastic tub. I think it's just from like B&Q or something. We put that in the back of the vehicle, then the deer, once we've got back, take it out of the bag and it goes in the tub. Just keeps the vehicle really clean. Shooting sticks, I use the Spartan Springbok shooting sticks. I have got another set of shooting sticks as well. Can't think what they're called, but I also take those. I switch and change really. So I think that is my basic kit. Need to get changed, need to get ready. The sun is actually shining, it's really nice. So let's go deer stalking. So this ground is awesome because we can stop up here and scan all of this ground before sort of getting right down into it and disturbing anything. So we've already spotted that in this field here, there is 5 deer, which you can probably see out in the sunshine. And there is also a few over here as well. So I think we're going to head down and see if we can get on a couple of these days down in here. So the 5 that we just saw in that field, there were 2 bucks and 3 does. But we've left them alone because it was going to be too tricky to get onto them. The wind wasn't in the right direction for the way that we would have needed to have stalked it, and it just wouldn't have worked. If we came in from another angle, they would have just spotted us, and the other thing as well, it's just going to bump them on into other pieces of ground that we're going to look at and then potentially push on something else. So we have left them alone. Little 4-point buck and a really nice 6-point buck, so that's good. 3 nice does. So we are just heading on to some more ground. There's quite a few deer about, like we've seen in the distance, so it's the first bit of really nice sunshine we've had in a while, so I think they're all going to be out, so fingers crossed we will have some luck. Here were a few more that we spotted, but unfortunately this isn't our ground, although our ground does surround this field. So decided to come in and see there's 3 deer up here. There's 1 buck and 2 does, but as you can see, they're right on the brow of the hill. So 1 buck, 1 older doe and 1 younger doe. So we're going to hopefully go for the younger one, but I'm just waiting for them to hopefully edge down in this field a little bit more to get a safe shot. Still in the high seat waiting. 3 that were in there, 2 have just now gone into the next route. Just hoping that we're going to come down, but 2 have just jumped into the next route, so I'm not sure which way this is going to go. Still a chance, but still need them to move down. I haven't got a clear shot of them now where they've gone, so. So as you can see, there's 1 still in there. The other 2 have just gone into that side. Just gonna wait and see. That's the older doe there, so I don't really want to shoot that one. I wanted to go for one of the ones that are coming back through. So, patience is a virtue. One doe down. The other two have just gone through that hedge there. It was a massive waiting game because she was, well, you'll see I've got some footage I think of the Triggercam, but one minute she'd gone through this hedge, then she was back, then she was facing away from me, then she was stood in front of the other deer, so it was just safety on, safety off, safety on, safety off. Just keep thinking you're going to get a shot and then they move. But that is the job done, 169 metres. So here she is. So there's the high seat in that tree. Here's the doe. So if you have a look at the blood, see how it's really like frothy? That shows that you've sort of heart-lung shot it because of the frothiness that's in the blood. Okay. So this is like a little filled winch, I guess. Is it a winch? That you can, it just comes really compact in a little bag, and then you can use it to suspend the deer from the tree. That'll be enough. And then just tie this bit. I'll find where I got this little winch from and link it if I can. Oh, I'm tangled now. Because it is really handy. Right, so first things first with grollicking is I start with the bum. I don't think everyone does this. I've seen people that don't do it, and you can just grollock and then cut the poo pipe off from the inside, but it just comes out a bit cleaner if you do it this way. So you're just literally gonna hold the tail and go right round the outside. It actually took me a long time to master this bit. I don't know why. I just found it really difficult. It's just a little bit fiddly. Again, I'm probably making this look harder than it needs to be. You need to get your knife quite deep so it goes down and cuts all the way around. Just have a look to see, so it's still attached here. I'm just going to cut around there. Still a bit. Don't come at me for my knife safety, because I know I'm a bit cat-handed. So I'm going to take the legs off first. I've obviously already done the back legs to hang it up, but front legs similar really. So you want to put your thumb into the joint here, and I find if you like bend it, you'll find where there's like a little dip, like a groove, and then you just want to make your cut around there, and then it should, she says, just come off like that. One leg. I found legs really hard to do for a very long time. It's not so bad if you mess up a front leg a little bit, but if you mess up the back leg, you then can't hang it, which is a bit of a pain. I'm by no means a professional at this, but I do find it's one of those things, that you've just got to do. Like, it's all very well someone showing you and showing you and showing you, but I do find you've got to do it yourself to sort of get a bit of a feel for it. I'm probably making this look really difficult. There we go. So now I'm just going to make a little cut at the top here horizontally, just being really careful, like just do it a tiny bit so that you don't obviously go too deep. So now we've got like a bit of a hole, so you know you've gone through enough, and then we're going to go down through. Now I normally use a swing blade for this just because the swing blade's got a rounded edge on it so that you don't puncture the guts inside. But I'm going to give it a go with this and just hope I don't cock it up. So if you put your fingers in behind as well, you can sort of protect the guts on the inside, because I've got my fingers between the blade and the guts. And then I'm just going to go right down through. So now we've hit the ribs and got to the rib part. Everyone's going to do this differently. Some people use like a little saw or something like that. I tend to just use my knife. It is harder with a knife. A saw is probably easier. You might need a bit more muscle if you're using a knife. So now I'm just going to go down through the ribs. I'm just going to make sure I'm not going to get the guts like that. So that's gone right down through the ribs now. Oh, let me stab myself. Okay, so gone right down through. Now, it's because gravity's helping you, all of this is going to sort of just hang, which helps. You just want to cut round the edges of everything. So just keep cutting away around the edges and it will all just start to pull away nicely. You don't have to really cut or saw or anything like that, because you just got to nick around the edges and then it'll all just naturally start to fall away. Obviously, because I cut around the bum earlier, you should be able to, if you put your hand up inside and you just want to squeeze down to get all the poo down, and then you should be able to just pull this out like that, and that way you're not going to get any of the poo going inside of the carcass. So as I said, just keep trimming around the outside. It's pretty like obvious, like you can see like these bits basically hanging here holding onto the guts. They're the bits that you want to cut around to get it to all fall out. Still a little bit there. You'll sort of know if there's any bits hanging on, because it'll be a bit harder to pull away. So that should now all just pull straight out, and then cut off your windpipe. Job done. So nice and clean, nothing left inside. Looks nice and healthy. So the only thing left to take off is the head, and that's it. We'll have a little look at the insides. It is getting a bit dark, so hopefully you can see. So there's the heart. So it got hit in the heart, as I said. I did say it was going to be a heart-lung shot. Don't know if it did hit its lung actually. Yeah, there. Just clipped the edge of it. So with the head, some people start from here. I used to start from there, but I've actually feel that it's easier to go from underneath. So you just want to cut as close as you can around the throat, and then hold the ears and go around the back of the ears. Again, I found heads really, really hard to begin with, but it's just trial and error. And I always say there's no right or wrong way. People could watch this and say I'm doing it completely wrong, but I just think as long as it's done cleanly, it doesn't matter if it takes me a long time or whatever. So now that you've cut all the way round, you should be able to spin the head, and then the head will just literally come off as a little bit just to nick through. Job done. So, job done, just got home. That dough is now in the chiller. She will stay in the chiller for about a week and then she will go to be butchered, which is good. So I keep getting people ask me to do like more in-depth videos, more for those that are new into stalking, haven't done a lot. So, you know, some of this is going to be irrelevant to those that have done a lot, but I just thought I'd do maybe like a top tips for new stalkers. So I would say, you know, if you're going out for the first time or if you're new into it, my top tips would be just be patient. Like, it can be so easy to get excited sometimes and think, oh, there's one there. What, you know, you just want to pull the trigger, but just take your time because you don't want it to go wrong. It doesn't matter if you don't shoot it. It'll be there another day. So just be patient. Like I had to tonight, I had to make a decision on that doe. What was I going to do? Was I going to try and stalk around the other way and hope that they didn't win me or catch me, or sit and wait it out and hope they came down lower? Could have sat and waited out and they didn't. They could have gone the opposite way and then I wouldn't have got a shot on it. So it's a roulette. You never know which way it's going to go. You can only do your best and hope for the best, really. But tonight it paid off. Sat in the high seat and I waited and waited, and eventually she came down low enough that I could get a safe enough shot, which is good. Make sure the wind's in your favour. Obviously you need the wind in the right direction. You want the wind blowing towards you as opposed towards the deer. If it's blowing towards the deer, they're just going to wind you and they'll be off. So you need to make sure the wind's in the right direction. Stalking around some of my ground's difficult because a lot of it is just like open grassland. There's nothing to hide behind. There's nothing to, you know, to cover you really. So I just tend to stick to the headlands, stick as tight as you can to the hedge and just go slowly. If they sort of look up to have a little bit of a look about or look at you, just stand still, just be patient, and just slow movements as well. So in the moment when you're maybe getting your gun up onto the sticks, it might be that they're sort of looking up and then going back down, then looking up. Just do slow movements. Just take it really slow. Again, don't rush. It could go wrong in that you take your time and then they go, but that just is what it is, unfortunately. So yeah, you just got to be patient, I think, would be my top tip. If you're not steady, not happy, don't take the shot. No one's gonna blame you for deciding not to take the shot, and just practice, I think. So like tonight when I was in the high seat and I was waiting for those deer to come down, it's going to sound really mad, but I just practiced getting steady. So while I was waiting, I had nothing else to do but sit and wait. So what can you do? So while I was sort of watching them through the scope, I was just trying to different positions, get steady and just practice. You know, it doesn't hurt to practice. Getting yourself comfortable, what position works for you in a high seat or off of sticks. Again, go out and practice off your sticks, because it's all very well shooting in a range or something like that, but it doesn't really simulate being out in the field. When you've just walked across 3 or 4 fields and you're out of breath and your adrenaline's going or whatever, it's going to be totally different getting on sticks. So go for a walk around a load of fields and then get your sticks up and try and get yourself ready. You're out of breath, you know, it's going to be completely different. So go out, practice on your sticks, again, different positions, find what works for you, and just, you know, practice that sort of thing. So I hope this video has been useful. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and I will be back soon for another video.